नमस्सर्वेभ्यः आदरणीय डॉक्टर राम माधव जी, आदरणीय ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ್ ದೇವತಾಜಿ, ಈ ಸಭಾಂಗಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಣ್ಯಮಾನ್ಯರು, ಮಾತಾ ಭಗಿನಿಯರು ಮತ್ತು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ವೃಂದ, at the outset I would like to appreciate and congratulate for the title of the book, Shakha to Nation. Both the editors have thoughtfully and aptly given the title. The title itself is reflective of the book's genre and tone. In the Sangha organizational structure, Shakha is the smallest and the fundamental unit. It is here that a person gets initiated to become a Swayam Sevak and imbibe qualities and all values to serve the nation, to think about the nation and to serve the nation. Every Swayam Sevak, that is why, is identified from the Shakha. In my childhood, I had gone to Abhimanyu Shakha. So I am always, now I am 77-year-old, 67 years in Sangha. But when I introduce myself, I will say I am the product of a Abhimanyu Shakha. Throughout the country, this is the thing. Shakha is the smallest unit where you will imbibe all these qualities to become a Swayam Sevak, to think about the nation, to serve about the nation. So that is the Matru Shakha. So Shakha is, though it is a very minuscule unit, it is going to inculcate all the qualities to serve a nation which is very vast world, and not only nation, beyond the nation. So very aptly and very thoughtfully the name has been given, Shakha to Nation. Very beautiful. The book contains the greatest speeches, as it is already written, the greatest speeches of the RSS, the greatest speeches of the stalwarts of Sangha, who were responsible for the growth and spread of its philosophy in every walk of society. So all these things have been in different chapters. It contains about our Sarsanga Chalaks and also the stalwarts of the Sangha lore. All these people are there. And all those excerpts have been given. And when I went through it, many of the speeches were either in Marathi or Hindi. And the editors have taken a lot of pain to translate it into English. To translate it into English, it is a Herculean effort, because many of the words used in Sangh Bauddhics, whether it is in Marathi or in Kannada or in Hindi, to translate them is always difficult. In spite of that, it is very lucidly translated. So one more congratulations to editors. And in the foreword itself, there is a lengthy foreword, how Sangh has grown all these 100 years. In that itself, it describes one beautiful sentence has been written. I will just read that one. I have got the book here. I will read some excerpts from that one. Millions of disciplined cadres, trained in tens and thousands of shakas across the country, run hordes of activities in every walk of national life. Now mark, in every walk of national life with military-like precision and missionary-level dedication. See the words used. Military-like precision. Everybody appreciates Sangh for its discipline and its ability to perform. When there was lot of floods some years ago in Kashmir, all TV channels said only two organizations are working in Jammu and Kashmir to alleviate the sufferings. One is the army, the other is the RSS. So that is the military-like precision. That doesn't mean RSS functions as a military organization. Next sentence which says, Next sentence it says is that missionary level dedication. Missionary level dedication contains love and compassion for the society. So military-like precision, though it looks as a paradox, military-like precision, but at the same time, love and compassion for the society. So the very foreword itself gives what is the genre and tone of this book. Then, in the foreword itself, the editors have written one beautiful sentence. It informs how the very core philosophy of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. We are not using the word ideology of RSS, because ideologies change. Communist ideology change, capitalist ideology change, socialist ideology change, but philosophy is always eternal. So that is why what Sangh says is philosophy. It is not ideology. So what is the core philosophy? So clearly they mention that core philosophy has been drawn from Swami Vivekananda. The inspiration is from Swami Vivekananda. It has been, I will just read that one. Incidentally, Swami Vivekananda's life and teachings have played an important role in the working and growth of the RSS. The concept of Hindu Rashtra is largely drawn from his teachings on the civilizational and cultural identity and oneness of the ancient nation Bharat. This is the core philosophy. The civilizational and cultural identity and oneness of the ancient Bharat, rather than from any religious or sectorial identity prism. This is the most important thing. The second Sarsanga Chalak of the organization, Madhav Sadashiv Golwalkar, Guruji, famously known as Guruji, was an ordained monk of the Ramakrishna order started by Swami Vivekananda. So, the very basis of the book, what it contains, has been clearly enunciated here. Then, and the introduction refers to one very important aspect which much of the Sangha Karyakartas themselves will not be knowing. Ram Madhavji has taken a lot of pains to put it, and that is how Sangha, when it was started by Dr. G, the founder, Dr. K.B. Hedgewar, Keshav Balram Hedgewar, when it was started, it was a socio-political organization. It was a socio-political organization. How it got transformed from socio-political organization into a socio-cultural organization. Today it is a socio-cultural organization, and throughout all these 100 years it has been maintained. Even Dr. G wanted it to be a socio-cultural organization because of the times and the circumstances of that time, 1925, it had to function as a socio-political organization. During the second Sarsanga Chalak's period, that is Guruji's period, it became a socio-cultural organization, and even to this day, it has been continued as a socio-cultural organization. That identity has been preserved and it continues. All these aspects have been written, as I already stated, and also written on the book. These are the greatest speeches of our Sangh senior Adhikaris. It contains both Sangha Adhikaris as well as from Sangha Parivar Adhikaris. And the first speech itself is from Dr. G. Dr. G, the founder, 100 years ago, we have to remember that one, in 1925, 100 years ago, without any ambiguity, he has stated what is the raison d'etre for the organization. What is the reason for starting? What is our core philosophy? How we are going to function? What we want to inculcate? All these things have been very lucidly and beautifully has been given in his speech. And that speech, I will just read that one. The Sangh aims to cultivate a singular sense of identity. See, mark the words that has been used. The Sangh aims to cultivate a singular sense of identity, Hindutva. Although the Hindu community is divided into caste, the Sangh recognizes only one identity, Hindu. It does not see distinctions of Brahmin, non-Brahmin, touchable, untouchable, rich or poor, literate or illiterate. For the Sangh, nothing is as significant as Hindutva. Under this sacred saffron flag, the unification of all Hindus is the primary goal of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. I believe no other aim could have been more noble, lofty and radiant than this. If anyone attempts to suppress Hindutva and build a new nationality, as all these 100 years people have done, even now people will be doing that, our nationality is something else. If anyone attempts to suppress Hindutva and build a new nationality, they are gravely mistaken. Such a thing can never happen. As long as the sun and moon exist, Hindustan will remain the land of Hindus. This is the first speech given by Dr. Ji. Even today, the core philosophy of Sangh is this one only. We are striving for this. Then Guruji's speech. Guruji, there are 2-3 speeches of Guruji here, but I will just quote what Guruji said about Dr. Ji. For us, when we are at 100 years, Dr. Ji appears to be a very distant figure. We remember him as the founder of RSS, but we cannot imagine what is Dr. Ji. The present day Karyakartas, the Swayamsevaks cannot imagine how Dr. Ji was there, how he functioned. But Guruji, in his own words, has described Dr. Ji. Let us see in page 19. When Dr. Ji died, Guruji gave one of the tributes which are par excellence. And he says, he was not an ordinary death. It was not an ordinary death. It was a steady and consuming fire that burned through the entire period of his youth. His entire period of his youth. There are some who sacrifice their lives in flash of martyrdom. True, that too is glorious and inspiring. But to burn oneself every moment of one's life to light up countless other hearts is a tapasya of the highest order. Like Shibi of the olden days, Dr. Ji cut his own flesh bit by bit in order to protect the dove representing the society. See the words that has been used. Like Dadichi, who gave his bones to be forged into a deadly weapon to slay the demon Vritasura, Dr. Ji too smilingly transfused his lifeblood into society till the last drop. That was how Shankaracharya died at the age of 32, Vivekananda 39, Shivaji at 50 and Dr. Ji at 50. It is such men who live eternally. Today is Dr. Ji is living in millions of Swayamsevaks. Then I will go on to the third Sarsanga Chalak, Balasaheb Ji. Balasaheb Ji was a Sarsanga Chalak at a very critical juncture. During Guruji's period also, the nation and Sangh was at a very critical juncture. That critical juncture continued even during the Balasaheb days. During his tenure, Sangh, the nation and the Sangh has to face 2 calamities. One is the imposition of emergency on the nation by Indira Gandhi in 1975 and banning Sangh. Both the things happened during his tenure as the Sarsanga Chalak. And Balasaheb Ji had a very formidable task. One, the emergency has to be removed. The ban has to be removed. The organization is to be kept intact. And the emergency and the ban has to be fought. So beautifully the editors have put that Dr. Ji's era, socio-politicalness it came back. So Sangh fought the emergency. Actually, it is because of Sangh, democracy survived in our country. I very much remember in London Times at that time, one of our Sangha who was a doctor, he had gone to London at that time. So while coming back, he brought a newspaper, the London Times. In that London Times, one famous columnist, probably James Cameron or somebody, he has written an article. In that he says, India is under the grip of emergency and a totalitarian rule. Throughout the world, the agitation against such totalitarian or emergency rule is led by the left organizations. But in India, it was led by the right-wing organization RSS, he wrote. We are not right-wing, but similarly, when the structure which was called Bambari Masjid was dismantled, New York Times wrote an editorial. In that editorial, it wrote, Hindus have become militant, he wrote. Describing that demolition, he wrote, Hindus have become militant. The architect of this militancy is RSS. Mananiya Sheshadriji, after reading that one, said that Hindu has not become militant, he has become assertive. So Hindu can never become a militant. And Bala Sahib ji, as I said, he had a formidable task of transforming. And he has another task also. After the emergency is over, when everybody was in that socio-political mood, the organization had to be brought back to socio-cultural mood. It has to be brought back to the cultural, socio-cultural moorings. That was also done. Even today, our moorings are socio-cultural. This has been very beautifully explained. Another difficult aspect was to train the Karyakartas' mind to be trained to adapt to the times they are working. For that, Bala Sahib ji has beautifully said in one of his speeches, I will just read that one. And he says, even today there are a lot of misconceptions about Sangha. And people think we want to take the nation to medieval ages. Because people think that whenever Sangha is depicted, it is used to be with shorts, khaki nikkar and danda. And earlier to that one, they used to refer to us with a chotu on our head. So they want us to take us back to medieval ages. Bala Sahib ji very beautifully says, we must now behave in a way that clears up these misconceptions. Others should feel that Sangh members, while taking pride in ancient traditions and observing their rightful dignity, are also well informed about present-day realities, about the current era, prevailing circumstances, and social questions and challenges. A Sangha Swayamsevak should not think only from the perspective that everything is already covered in the old Hindu traditions and therefore there is no need to think about materialism. If the Swayamsevak for any reason holds such views, then the Sangh will not be able to exert the kind of influence over others that it intends to do. So, to transform the mind of the Swayamsevak and the Karyakartas to the present circumstances, that was also one of the greatest contributions of the Bala Sahib ji. And one more, I will just quote Bala Sahib ji's call for social justice and social harmony in his very famous Vasanta Vyakhyanamala speech. The entire text has been given here. The speech was in Marathi, that has been translated into English, and that has been given. And even there also, That is where he said his famous words. I will just read that one. Untouchability is another saddening and unfortunate aspect of our social inequality. Whatever be its origin, all of us consider that untouchability is a terrible folly, and it must of necessity be thrown out lock, stock and barrel. There are no two opinions about it. Abraham Lincoln, who abolished slavery in America, said, "If slavery is not wrong, then nothing is wrong." Similarly, it is for all of us to declare that if untouchability is not wrong, then nothing in the world is wrong. This has been many times quoted, and this became the vision of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh for social harmony and social equality. The greatest speeches of the other three Sarsanga Chalaks are included here, and also the stalwart Karyakartas who belongs to various organizations are also included here. Ram Madhavji is going to answer all your questions and everything, so I am not going to delve into it because of time limitation. I shall conclude quoting portions from Dattopant Tengdiji. Tengdiji was a senior Sangha Pracharak and was an intellectual giant. He was responsible for founding of ABVP, BMS, Swadeshi Jagarana Manch and Bharatiya Kisan Sangh and so many other organizations. He was an intellectual giant. And on Hindu Rashtra, he says, I will just read that one and conclude my talk. If we talk about our true identity, this has always been a Hindu Rashtra since ancient times. Some people claim that a Hindu Rashtra is being newly established today, but we say that there is no need to establish what already exists. Hindu Rashtra is an eternal truth. It does not require a new foundation. We may have forgotten about it, but history has always referred to this land as a Hindu Rashtra. For that he quotes, in 1857, when Karl Marx sent dispatches to newspapers in New York, he used the word Hindu in both the meanings, Hindu as a religion and Hindu as a nation. Even Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who was the first to attempt to awaken Muslim community during British rule, used the term Hindu Rashtra. So like this, Tengdiji quotes all these things, speeches, which are very much important from Sangh point of view, have been included in this book. This book is not only for Swayamsevaks, it is also for Swayamsevaks, because the present day Swayamsevak has to understand how Sangh evolved, Sangh philosophy is there, and what are the important aspects, core values of Sangh philosophy. And at the same time, for the persons who wants to understand Sangh, if they go through the book, they will have a very clear understanding of Sangh. Dhanyavad.